Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a long time since I've made a video, but I'm here to release a new version of the dividend tracking spreadsheet. So if you have already purchased it, you'll be getting an email right away with a link to the new version that I'm going to go through right now. And that'll be free for anyone who's already purchased it. I'm sorry that it has taken so long because I know that version 3.5 has a bunch of, or has come down with a bunch of errors in it trying to connect to stock price and dividends and stock names, and that's because a lot of the information comes from external sources, and over time those websites sometimes change the structure of their data, and then the spreadsheet has a hard time pulling in information. So over time sometimes the formulas break, and I know that there's a lot in 3.5. So anyways, here we are with version 3.6. I've been running it for a couple weeks now, testing it, and it's working 100% for me, so I'm going to be passing it on to all of you guys who have already purchased it. Yeah, so let's just run through everything. Actually, I'll just go through what's going on in the sheet, and then I'll do an example at the end of bringing in my old portfolio from version 3.5 into version 3.6. You're just going to copy and paste a couple things. It takes like 2 minutes, and then you'll be up and running and everything should be fine. So that's what we all wanted, right? Anyways, here on the portfolio tab, everything's looking the same. And the biggest thing that I changed here is I did add a toggle switch for monthly versus yearly. This is just automatic. You can set it up for however you want. I was getting a lot of bars here, and I just realized as time goes on, probably myself and others are just going to want to see the annual version. And so I coded this in, so that works pretty well. The other thing that I did, if you're a user of the spreadsheet before, you had to kind of adjust this a little bit manually based on when you started receiving dividends. But now this is also, the chart's running fully automatic. So just depending on what you've put in the dividends tab, it'll pick up on your first month and your most recent month, and it will generate you the chart perfectly, and you won't have to manipulate any of this down here. Moving on to the portfolio tab, it looks the same in here. I've just cleaned up. You might have been seeing a lot of NA errors, especially on current price and on dividends. And what happens if you get an NA error here on a portfolio tab, it cascades up to the summary, and then it starts wiping out all sorts of things. But now I've put in a lot of redundancy. So basically, like, the spreadsheet is kind of checking Google Finance first for whatever is available, and if that doesn't work, it's going to alternative sources, and that's giving us pretty stable conditions in here. I did add in support for a few more exchanges. So CNSX is a new exchange that's running, and BATS and OTC markets. So pretty much for the most part, anything you put in from those exchanges should work. Let's just run through a couple examples here. So also NEO was having some issues with the names and the price and stuff. But if we put in a couple examples here, like PayPal or NEO, the Amazon that's listed on NEO, we're getting the current price pulling up right away, the name displaying correctly, and what else do we have? A lot of REITs were not working before, so SRU.UN, for example, that's somewhere up there as well. The REITs are all working as well. And then some of the other exchanges, like I know you guys like to use, a lot of people like this one, BATS, QDTE. So stuff from the BATS exchange is working here as well. Just notice that if you are putting in an ETF, as always, you do need to specify that it's an ETF. So right now it's not pulling up the dividend because this is an ETF, but you do have to select specifically for this category ETFs, and it's going to bring in this like ridiculous dividend that those guys have. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with them, but lots of people have emailed me over the years about including this, and now it works properly. And then there's other ones like, for example, OTC markets, and then TCEHY. Lots of people have sent messages over 10-cent holdings over the years as well. So this is just naturally working. In the past, I would often send people custom formulas to like sort these out, but I've tested as many positions or stocks as I can think of, and it's working for everything right now. So I'm just gonna erase this before I forget, and let's move on. So in transactions tab, for you guys, the users of the sheet, nothing has changed in here from what you can see. There's a bunch of stuff that has changed in here, just formulas and stuff like that. But anyways, this will just operate the same as it did. Same with the dividends tab. Just log your dividends in here, deposits and withdrawals. Lots of stuff has changed behind the scenes, but for you guys as the users, you won't see it. Sparkline tab is still running here. Extra sparklines are still running. Let's see if we can get down to one of these. So the sparklines do run off of a built-in feature from Google Sheets and Google Finance, where they reference Google Finance to give you the little chart in one cell. Google Finance for like the last couple of years has not been supporting Canadian REITs, income funds, or the NEO exchange. And so rather than throwing up errors here, just specifying exactly what's going on. Income funds would be like some other stocks that are like REITs, or that are not ETFs, they're not REITs, but something like the keg.un. It's a lot of, or Canoe EIT. These income funds in Canada, they were like typically not displaying properly. That's an issue with Google Finance, and otherwise there's no way to get these sparklines in here, so just some things are just not supported. But for the rest, everything is working properly. In the watch list here, it's the same thing, just giving based on the ticker that you input, just giving the name and the sparkline. I removed the dividend information and the current price because there's actually too many import formulas in the sheet, and it was getting bogged down, and it just wasn't working properly, so I had to remove some. So I removed them from here, but you'll still be able to get all of the import information coming through on the portfolio tab just fine on the positions that you actually hold. Convert money here, nothing has changed. If you need to use this, go for it. In the splits tab, I did clean this up a little bit, or just reorganized it. If you do experience a stock split, there's a huge wall of text here explaining what to do. You're going to use these cells over here to figure out what you need to adjust, and then just follow the instructions and you'll be able to go through. If you have been using these cells, these are really useful as well. These haven't changed when they're still here. Sometimes you need to adjust the value of your portfolio and or the value of the available cash based on often based on splits or other events that have happened in your portfolio. For example, I used to hold TransAlta Renewables, and then they turned into TransAlta, and during that my TransAlta Renewables holdings disappeared. I got some TA instead, but they also distributed $911.51 into my account as part of this settlement or whatever. So sometimes you do have to come in here. There's instructions up at the top for using these, but these are pretty helpful. You can adjust the cash and the portfolio balance, or just the portfolio balance and not the cash if you need to. In the import helper here, this is the same. If you do need assistance importing whole positions without knowing all of your historical transactions, and this tab hasn't changed, it's still in here for you guys. So let's run through how to transition from 3.5, your old version, to the new version. If you have previously bought the spreadsheet and you're using an old version, then you'll be getting an email with the link to the folder. But the folder is here. Basically, you just need to come in on the blank template. What you want to do is click these three dots and click Make a Copy. You don't need to do anything else. Just select the three dots on the blank template and make a copy. This is going to make a copy in your Google Drive of your personal account. Here, if you want, it's going to say show file location of to exactly where it's saving to. So let's open it up. It's just going to save into the main folder of your Google Drive, and now you will be the only owner of this file, and I won't be able to see what information you put in here. It's only for you. So let's go ahead and open it up, and you can customize the name here if you want. So let's just do a new version 3.6 example. All right, cool. So here we are. This is what it should look like in here. Just going to be blank stuff everywhere. That is totally normal. It's all good. What we want to do is we just want to copy and paste one screen at a time. So we'll go into our old version of 3.5, which probably looks like a complete disaster because of the errors. But anyways, we're just going to grab things one at a time. So I'm going to start with a splits tab. I'm only going to grab this information here. It's not necessary to grab anything else from the splits tab. And we're going to bring this into the new 3.6 example. And we're going to go to the splits tab, and we're just going to paste it into the same exact cells that we copied from. Okay, cool. And then we're going to go to, let's say, what would be the next one? We can grab the dividends. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom of our dividends that we've ever received and logged in here. And we're going to select these cells, just the blue cells here. Scroll all the way back up to the top. And just copy just the blue shaded cells as always. We're going to come here into our dividends tab, and we're going to paste those at the top in the blue shaded cells as well. So it's going to paste it in here, give it a second to work, and it's going to bring up all of the names for those stocks. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is we also need to grab deposits and withdrawals. So again, go to the bottom of your deposits and withdrawals in your existing copy. Select here at the bottom, and we want to copy and paste all of them. So select all of the deposits you've done, press Control C, and then go back into 3.6 to deposits and withdrawals, and paste those exactly in the top left cell of the shaded blue. And it has exactly the same columns, so it'll just paste in correctly. All right. We also need to grab the transactions. So let's go back to the 3.5 version, to the transactions. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom here. And again, I'm going to select all of the blue shaded cells only. And I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top, just give it a second here. And we're going to be copying all the blue shaded cells. So press copy, and then in version 3.6, go to the very top left cell of the blue shaded area and press paste. Give it a second to load. There's a lot of information in there likely, and just double check to make sure it looks fine. I would recommend, if you scan down, if you ever bought a stock that was in one currency, but you paid for it in a different currency, which is possible in Wealthsimple or older versions of Wealthsimple, so do just scroll down, and as you go, if you see any of these attentions here showing up, read here. It says look like you paid CAD for US stock, blah blah blah. You just need to go into your old version, in version 3.5, and select the value that would be over here that you input, and then override this value that it's giving you an attention. Now, I don't have any of those because I've always been paying Canadian dollars for Canadian stocks or US dollars for US stocks, but just know that that is possible, and you will have to just quickly scroll through. If you see any highlighted yellow bits, just reference the row number and go back to your old version, and then just grab the number that you had manually overridden. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to need to do is just in the portfolio, we will need to populate this. So we'll go back to the old version, portfolio, and in here, just grab the blue shaded cells. Again, press Control C. Don't worry about any errors or anything that you're seeing in there. Come to the new version, and in the very top left of the blue shaded cells here, so this is going to be cell A2, press paste. All right, so when you do this, it's going to pop up here saying that some formulas are trying to send and receive data from external parties. You will need to allow access if you're curious, if you want to learn more about this. This is because I'm using import HTML, import XML files throughout the sheet. So feel free to read through this to see. I'm importing information using these formulas from external sources. And so just for a security feature, it is just letting you know that, and that you're going to need to allow access. So as the creator of the sheet, I can't see any of the information that you put in here. This is just to connect to the external sources. So we're going to allow access, and just give it a second here to load. Now, because I pasted, what's going on here? This actually overrode some of the drop downs that were here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this. I'm going to drag this cell 26. I'm going to unpaste that. Okay. What we want to do here is we'll copy the blue shaded cells, and on this particular one, if it's giving you some flack, just right click here and paste special and paste values only. Okay. That's just going to preserve what was already in here, and it's not going to piss it off too much. Feel free to always paste values only while you're doing this as well, because when we're pasting it, we're bringing the color and everything over, but yeah, you can paste by value too. So as we just sit here and wait for a second, just observe that you're going to need to give it a minute to capture all of the data here. There is a lot of import formulas going on right now, and they will just need like up to a couple minutes to bring in everything correctly. And the first time you do this, do give it a few minutes. It can take up to like 5 or 10 minutes the first time, and then after that, it should be updating properly. Sometimes it can be faster on the first load as well. But if you see some slowness in there, just give it a second and it will load eventually. But once we have all of this in, then we can just pop into the summary tab, and we're going to see everything in here working properly. So we have our pie charts, everything is good. Dividend bar chart, everything is good as we expected, and we're good to go. I do really recommend checking this against your broker, making sure that the total account balance is correct, that the available cash in your account is correct. And some of these ones also are looking the same. And if not, then I would first come into the portfolio tab and double check that is each position looking correct. Like maybe you have missed a transaction or you've missed a dividend or something like that. And if absolutely necessary, you can go into that splits tab and adjust the total portfolio balance with or without cash using these cells. So yeah, guys, anyways, sorry this took so long, but I am pretty happy with how it is working for the moment. Hopefully everything continues to work. If there are any positions that you put into your portfolio tab that somehow don't work, you can send me an email. My email is in the welcome tab. Every position every stock and ETF that I tried is working right now on any of these exchanges. If it's outside of these exchanges, you're going to have to send me an email as well, and I'll probably be able to get you some formula for current price. And if you are seeing any errors here on the summary page, most of the time it's because there's an error on the portfolio tab and it's cascading up there. So first thing to just come in and check, see what is going on. It might just be loading and the current value of a position or of a stock, and if not, if it persists, then again, feel free to email me and I'll try to find a different source for that particular piece of information that's not working correctly. All right, guys, that's all I have for now. So check your inbox for the link to the folder, and good luck with the new version. Hope you guys enjoy it.